Tea or coffee?
Tea, 1 sugar please. You always start with a brew, it's a very important tip. So today we're just going to give it a try at renovating some old radiators. So we've got some Hammerite paint, you can see there, it's nice modern looking grey, smooth Hammerite paint. It's not glossy, so it's Hammerite Ultra, it protects all metals, hopefully including radiators. So as per the rules of any paint, we're going to sand it down first to create a bit of a key and help the paint stick. Then we're going to hoover it off, we're going to clean it with a damp wet towel, and once it's dried we're just going to put some Hammerite on and hope we've upgraded the radiator. So wish us luck and stay tuned. Here we go. Giving it a light sand, just over the surface. This is 60 grit sandpaper, so it'll give a decent key, quite rough sandpaper. So we're not messing around with light sandpaper. So we've left it a bit longer now, so hopefully this is dry. Just give it a once over again. Yeah, that's a lot better. It's definitely dried now, so we'll just give this paint a stir and give this radiator our second coat. So as you can see there, we've given it our second coat and it's made quite a transformation. You can almost see now it's looking almost like the finished article, but I still think it needs one more coat. As you can see, it's not perfect, so we'll do the same again. We'll leave it for a couple of hours, let this dry. It seems to only take, in this environment it's not too warm, but it takes about 2 hours to dry, so it's only water based. So another 2 hours, we'll give it another coat and see how she looks. Right, so we've given our radiator a couple of coats, and what we've discovered is it's quite difficult to get into this little grid work at the back. So we probably should have done this first, but we've worked out how to take these off. So if you apply a bit of pressure at one end and sort of jiggle it, your top should release slightly. And it's on sort of like a hinge mechanism, so if you lift it up, can you show this bit in here? Can you sort of see these hooks? They just locate into these little hinges at this end. So if you flip that out, hinge it up, got to hinge it right up. This is in the way a bit. Can you see on here, if you show that, you can see how it sort of clicks into these hinges go on there. And these stops sort of hold everything in position, so that lifts off. So now we can paint this up on its own and go in from the back and really make sure we coat it in grey. Yeah, so we've given our radiator it's had a second coat now. Probably should have done this in between the first and second coat, but we're just going to give it a light wire wool just to rough up the surface a bit and help our paint stick and just sort of smooth it out before hopefully our final coat or penultimate coat. So just give it a quick blast with your wire wool, get in there and rough it all up. I've already done this a little bit off camera, but I'm just showing you the sort of general idea. Try and go right round with your wire wool into your edges. We pulled these strips, the side strips away, so we're just going to try and get a bit more paint in between there, and we put that cover on. You won't see any of this white showing through. You want a nice coverage on our radiator. And also we've taken the top bit off now, so we can get painted right up to the top. So you hopefully won't see any white. No one will ever know this used to be a white radiator. Once you wire wooled it off, just give it a brush with a rag just to get any of your wire wool off, and then you're ready for your next coat. Here we go. So as you can see, we've now painted up our top piece and we've clipped that back into position. So in at one end, and then you slowly twist and hinge it down to locate it into position. And as you can see, the radiator's looking good. Managed to get a good amount of coverage. And yeah, it's been quite a nice transformation. The Hammerite grey paints work really well. It's covered the radiator. You see it's all quite an even colour. And it's definitely improved our radiator, and I think we only used a fraction of the tin, possibly like, let's have a look, I'll open it up. So we've done a full radiator and we've only used that much in the tin. So yeah, Hammerite Ultra protects all metals, even radiators. There you go, good stuff. So if you're not wanting to buy new radiators and you want to just upgrade them a little bit, then get yourself a tin of Hammerite Ultra, and I'm sure you'll be able to do, you know, all the radiators in your home for the cost of one tin. So yeah, good tip. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. One of the main things is you have to try and paint down this, when you take this cover off, try and paint down the back there, because you see that. And what we've done is we've just left the inside of the radiator white, just because we didn't feel the need to paint that. But yeah, it looks really good. You just have to give it a few coats, but if you're looking for an inexpensive way to recolour your radiators, then painting them with Hammerite is a good choice. It's a lot cheaper than paying a plumber to take your radiators off and getting all new radiators fitted.